Yo guys, I'm HP, this is Dr. Pink, and today's topic is guitar practice tips and plans. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe to my channel and hit the notification button, and also join the HPCrazy Guitar Academy. So this was going to be a little speech about a very, very important topic. It's the main topic when you want to learn or play guitar. The learning never stops, by the way. And it's probably a little bit annoying. It's not so entertaining, but still I want to just share a few thoughts out of my experience of teaching guitar over 30 years and also learning guitar over 30 years, and just to help you guys to optimize your learning process and to get most fun out of your learning process. The first tip is, and that's the most important one, wherever you stand in your guitar journey, enjoy it. I can tell from my own experience and from the experience with students, if you pressure yourself, I'm not good enough, I have to get better, and you're frustrated, that's completely understandable, but the frustration level should not overcome the joy level, I mean, it's good to work on things, but not to overwhelm yourself with negative feelings, I wish my guitar teacher would have taught me that. Probably would have enjoyed a lot of things way more. When I look back now, it's fun, but back then I thought, oh, I'm such a bad player. And I still, even today, I always think I'm a bad player, That's a mental thing, which is not really good. It keeps you going on, but in fact, you should focus on enjoying what you're doing wherever you stand. If you're a complete beginner, maybe that's really frustrating, but even then, try to enjoy what you're doing. That's the most important tip of all. The second tip is the learning curve. You must understand that learning an instrument or learning guitar is a complex thing, and it's not an easy task. There are a few guys out there who promise you can learn in 2 weeks, you can learn 1,000 songs. That's true, because the learning curve is like this. At the beginning is like this, and then it starts to flatten out more and more. I try to keep in the screen, And at the beginning, if you do the proper things, yes, you can learn 1,000 songs in 2 weeks, but on a very, simple level, which is cool. But you must understand that if you really want to get into guitar playing, the main thing which you need to learn, and that's something else, is to connect your body with this thing here. This is basically only a piece of wood, steel strings and pickups. There's no magic behind it, and you need to learn to connect your body with this thing and make it sound. At the beginning, if you press somewhere and you attack, it sounds like nothing. And there's a whole thing to get your body under control, your muscle memory, in a way that it starts sounding, And that's something which takes a lot of discipline. It's like sports, If you want to do marathon, you start from zero, you probably run 200 meters and then you're dead. Until you reach 40 kilometers, it's a lot of training, a lot of build-up. You need to train your body to do these things which are not natural for the body. And that needs a lot of discipline. And therefore, think about a practice plan where when you do a practice plan, and I strongly recommend that you do that, because the thing is, when you want to get the sportive thing under control, meaning the movements of your fingers and your picking hand, you have to see it as sports. You need to build it up, you need to train that, and the more regular you train it, the better. If you don't do it regular, you don't get anywhere. As I said, the marathon, if you don't train regular, you will never reach 40 kilometers, And that's the main thing. And then when you stop the training, then you lose the ability again, which you reached, you know. That's the really bad news about it. So if you do a practice plan, and I come to that in a second, put the technical department, give it a really high, a really high priority. I would say the first priority, because the connection with the instrument is the main thing which keeps really talented people away from playing great stuff. It's the technical abilities mostly, and not the knowledge of which string, which scale, which chord. That all comes with the technical abilities. So the technical ability has to have first priority, I would say. And when you do a practice plan, let's say you are able to practice 1 hour per day, then I would suggest I always divide it in a discipline part and in a joy part. Okay? So what I said first, enjoy the journey. That's the joy part. I would say in the 1 hour you divide it into half an hour technical, half an hour joy. You can also make alterations on that. I personally enjoyed the technical part a lot. So for me it's like 80% technical stuff and 20% fun stuff. But that's a personal choice. But the technical part has to be really regular, disciplined, and not pushing over your limits. What does that mean? You have your limit. You know, when you play a scale, I played it as that was now pretty easy for me. That was in the green phase, and when I want to play it that was already in the red phase with no warm up. You know, and you need to practice the movements slow and really pay attention to all movements and optimize all movements in a way your body reacts. That's really individual. I cannot tell it has to be the same for everybody, but there's one rule. Movements have to be optimized, because that makes you agile and fast. You know, if you have a lot of movement in your fingers or wherever, you know, then you need to work. You know, what you see often is this. You know, that's not good. Fingers have to do as less movements as possible. Also the picking hand, as less movements as possible. You know, and that's the stuff you need to practice. When you practice, always make 3 repeats of each exercise. In a way you can focus on all things which you want to work on. It's not only the movements, also you can put several things in one exercise. You know, as an example, if you practice a scale, you can practice this in quarter notes. This will be the click, 1 2 3 4 1, or in 8 notes, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, or triplets, 1 2 3 1 2 3 1, or in 16 notes, or more sextols. You know, practice. You can put additional stuff in your exercise. This goes along, and certain things takes weeks and months till your body adapts to stuff, you know, especially when you're working newly on stuff. Once you have the ability that it always works, then you still need to practice it to keep it up, you know. Depends on your playing level, you know. And as a beginner, I strongly recommend that you really work on technical stuff. At the beginning you need to learn to grab chords, learn to play scales, that you really just do it every day till it works. I've seen many beginners who, you know, the first phase, I remember my first phase, I made it in 3 months. But I did it, at that time I was a professional piano player, and I practiced 1 hour guitar daily, and after 3 months I went over the first phase. And I've seen many students which could not overcome the first phase, and there's only one answer for that: they didn't practice regular. The regularity is the key to success. The joy keeps you the regularity, so it has to be a balance between discipline, joy, and to get this regularity going on. If you don't have that, then you always fall back, and that's frustrating, you know. And these are really currently I've seen a lot of students. That's the next tip. Be realistic upon your abilities on guitar. Now here comes, I've seen quite a few students in the recent past who had way too high, not expectation, but a view of their own playing abilities. You know, if you play over your level, you cannot control anything anymore. The main key to play a cool, nice guitar on any level is that you can control what you're doing, and not that your fingers are just moving and, oh wow, that was cool. I don't know what I did, but that was cool. And as a coach and teacher, I always see my job in helping students to be more aware what they're doing on the fretboard, and then that comes with the discipline and skipping it down to really simple things. And it can be frustrating, I agree. You know, when you never did that before, you come here and then think, okay, I can do that, but then, oh no, I cannot, you know. And therefore practice plans, and now we're coming to the practice plans, are really helpful. First, you make an analysis. What can I do? Then you check it. Okay, this is what I can do. Let's say I can play steady 60 notes on 70 BPM. Whatever, you know, or I can play a blues or a rock with only 3 chords and that's it, or I cannot do the bar, all that stuff. That's part of your process of checking what can I do, what can I not do. Write it down. Where do I want to go? Find out your midterm goals, long-term goals, and then check out what is needed to get there. And then build up a system. As I said, the technical thing is the most important thing. And each technical exercise which you want to do, you do it 3 times in that process, 3 times each in your, at least 3 times. You can also do more if you want, but at least 3 times in your schedule of practice. You know, you can do it anywhere, but do it 3 times. Or at 2 times is the minimum, but not only once, at least 2 times, and not in the red zone, in the green zone, where you can control everything. The red zone is where it happens, you know, where you didn't know what you were doing, but oops, it worked. I don't know why, but the green zone is, it worked because I know how it works, okay? And these are the main keys to success on any level, either beginner, intermediate player, advanced player, semi-pro player, pro players as well. Doesn't really make a difference. It's always to find out where you stand, what is needed to get somewhere, make a plan for yourself, at least an examination, what is needed that I get somewhere, and then try to work on it. You know. And I strongly recommend, I know there's a lot of YouTube guys out there, I strongly recommend from time to time to see a professional or get some professional advice where you currently stand and if you're on the right path, because sometimes you go in the wrong direction and you lose a lot of time, which is a pity if you want to get really fast to a goal. But of course you don't need to get a professional advice. I'm just saying I really recommend that. That's about the main tips on practicing and practice plans. I have a system on my website if many of you have only a small budget, you don't want to take a private lesson, you can write your practice plans in a secured area on my website and check it out, see what you're doing from time to time. Or others can check it out. You can also, I mean, it's another possibility. You talk with others, you interact with other guys who are working on the same thing. You don't need it. I mean, that's an optional. You don't need a. You can also do it without professional advice, but at least you need to have an exchange with people who are on the same level with the same difficulties to find out if you're doing the right things and get tips from there. But anyhow, on my website you can do that. There are student blogs there. You can write your practice plan if you want, get the opinion there or wherever you want. Yo, that's all I have to say for today. Me and Dr. Pink are saying goodbye.